Good morning. Well, it's morning here. Hello and welcome. You've made it to repetitions and routine day number 48. We are going to be working on the legs today, the little muscles and the abductors, and some stabilizer muscles by using our mini band. So let's go ahead and get warmed up first. Start by just pulling your knee up into the chest and then rotate your ankle one direction and then the other. Open your chest, lift up through the shoulders and then squeeze those shoulder blades together. Rotate your other leg. Nice tall and strong support on the supporting leg. And then let's go the other direction. Take your hand behind, foot behind. Lift your other arm. So if you have your right foot behind you, lift your left arm and then just hinge forward. Again, trying to find a little bit of balance. Wake it up this morning and then switch to the other side. Grab your foot in the back, lift your opposite arm, take a deep breath, and then hinge forward. Perfect. And then come on up. All right, let's go ahead and take a wide base of support, hinge forward, reach over those legs, and then bring your arms all the way up. Deep inhale here, and then exhale, drop forward. So we're going to be on a timer today. We're going to have 30-second sets of work. We have 5 pieces of work, actually 10. So it'll take 5 minutes per round, and we're going to go for 5 rounds. So all you need is this little mini band today. Hopefully you have one. Otherwise, you can use isometric flexion through the legs. Go ahead and take your body to the left. Just hinge over to the left. Don't hold too long. Bounce a couple times, and then hinge to the right. Bounce, bounce. Drive over to the left. Little bounce. Drive over to the right. Little bounce. Perfect. And then swivel through the hips. One leg's forward, one leg's back. Drop the back knee on the ground. You're going to slide forward and back. So just hinge forward, get that back hip flexor, slide back, get your hamstring in the front. One more like that. And then we'll switch. All right, after this side, I'm going to go through a quick tutorial of everything that we're doing. And if you would like to just do some crunches, get your band ready while I'm doing that. Go for it. I want to make sure you know what's coming since we're not going to have transition time and we're just going to go straight into the next little set. So chances are we're going to need a little break here and there. So whenever you need a break, feel free to take it. Otherwise, we're just going to burn those little abductors nice and hot. Okay, so our band is going to be going above the kneecaps the entire time. We're going to be starting on the ground. I'm going to go ahead and show you, though, from the top. And then once I'm on the ground, we'll stay on the ground. That way we can be super efficient with our time. All right, so we're going to have 3 moves from the ground, 2 different sides each. Then we'll come up, hit squats. So you want to always be pushing your knees into the band. After squats, you're going to stay low and go abductors. So you just push your knees as wide as you possibly can. After abductors, we're going to go burpees. Plant your hands, jump back, the full push-up, jump in, and then jump up. If you don't like burpees, I'll have you just stay with the jump squat. If you don't jump, you're just going to stay squatting. Then our last one will be a rolling down dog plank, which means you're going to hit a down dog, and then you're going to roll. So you're going to tuck your chin, you're going to roll the upper back, round it in, come all the way into a plank, and then roll yourself all the way back. So finding the core forward and back. Okay, so our first exercise is going to be a single glute bridge from the ground with a lift and a lower. So you're going to lift one leg, you're going to put tension on your band, and then you're going to lift and lower each side, single. Then you're going to go back to your first side and abduct. So you're going to pull the leg out to the side, pushing against your band, both sides. Then we're going to roll onto the side, lift your hips off the ground, bottom knees on the ground, and you're going to do a little crab pull each side. All right. Those are our exercises, and we're going to go 5 rounds of each through. So go ahead and get your glute bridge set, feet right underneath your knees. Make sure the knees are straight out from your hips, putting tension into the band. All right, grab your core, ready, set, and go. So lift one leg and then drop your hips and lift them up. You can do whatever you'd like with your arms. Hold them out wide in a goalpost. Hold them up high over your head or down on the ground. Kind of help with some stability. Keep both legs flexed. Keep the core flexed. Focus on work coming through the glute. Should get some heat nice and quick here. Switch your legs. Lift the other leg up. Put tension on that band. Feel the core lock in. We want to hold the pelvis in place, especially with one leg up in the air. And for some of us, one leg up is just not working yet. So maybe your core capacity isn't where it can hold the pelvis where it needs to be in order to keep the work out of the low back. Switch back first leg and then abduct. So in that case, just keep both feet on the ground and keep going up and down with your double leg bridge. It's always an option. You find the point that works for you. You find your intensity level. Grip in through the core. Try to keep your stabilizing legs still so you're not counter pulling. Switch your legs. Make sure that your supporting leg is still straight out from your hip so you're not tripoding. Good job. Keeping those hips up high. Next up, we're going to have our crab. So we'll roll over onto the side and get those bent knee abductions. Lock into the belly. Keep the core working. Okay, lower down. Push it up. And then open. Still opening up through the chest, through the hips. So try to make sure that your hips are pushing forward. Core held strong. Keep that chest open. And you're probably going to be feeling more in the bottom leg, the supporting leg on the ground. 3, 2, roll to the other side. After this one, we're coming up for squats. Open the chest, lock the core. Build the burn in those legs. You're really finding the strength in the small muscles of the abductors, also the adductors and through the groin, the inner thigh. Come up. So with a band, you don't really need to over push. You might not get tons of range, and that's okay. We really need to just take our abductors where they're at, making sure the pelvis stays in place. That's the biggest thing we need to focus on. Belly locks. Keep pushing those knees wide into your band. 3 seconds. Stay down and abduct. Sit as low as you can. Try to sit back on your heels. Open the chest. Contract your core. You've got it. Find those 4 corners of the feet. Sit even on your feet. 3, 2, 1. We're going burpees or jump squats. Keep pulling those knees into the band. Elbows squeeze in tight next to the rib cage. And you're focused on your core here. Keeping the hips tucked so that your hips don't get left behind on your push-up. Okay, now you're in your down dog. Grab the core, roll forward, and then push back. Tuck in deep through the core, roll it forward, and push back. Slide forward and back. Really find that roll time. Flip it over, and we're back to our single leg glute bridge. Lift that one leg, drop and lift. All right, initial round's over. Now we can really set in, find the work, keep it going. Make sure the pelvis stays neutral. Keep those hips dropping and lifting together. One side's not drooping. Switch. Get your setup. Make sure your form is right. Lock into the belly. Keep your push. Feel that big burn, that big grab through the meaty part of your glute for these. That pushing side, switch your leg, stay static, and then pull your other leg out to the side. Try to keep the supporting leg still. Lock through the core. Grip through the glutes. Focus those glutes. Our glutes have a tendency to be weak. Switch your legs. And our quads and hip flexors compensate for that, and our hamstrings. So if you find that you have chronically tight hamstrings, chances are that you've been using your hip flexors a lot, and hamstrings get tight because they're constantly pulled because your glutes are weak and they can't support the pelvis and the system. So really try to find your glutes. All right, turn into your crab, just like we find our core or whatever else, our back. You want to be able to find those self-flexions in your glutes. You should be able to recruit that booty. Good. Come on. Open the chest. Tighten the abdomen. 3 seconds. Other side. Stack it up. Push the hips forward. You're going for your biggest pull, but you're making sure to keep the pelvis neutral. No rotating. No drooping. Keep those hips pushed high. Time coming up for squats. Get those toes straight ahead. Knees pull wide toward the pinky toe side of the foot. Sit those hips back and down. Trying to keep your knees pulled out even as you push up to the top. Stay low and abduct. Grab your belly. Push those knees wide. Come on, drive into it. Decide you're just going to make it happen. Burn is good. Sit back on those heels. Relax through the toes. 4 seconds. Time. Burpees or your alternate. Try to have your drop come straight away as you jump those feet back. Core and triceps are controlling that drop. Time. Hit your down dog, plank. If you need a rest, this is a great time to take one. Just hit up your child's pose or hold the down dog. Tuck and contract. Big focus grab through the core. Shoulders draw up over the wrist. Time. All right. Set 3. Drive those hips up. Lift one leg. Drop and push. Check in with that lifted leg. How is your hip joint working? Is the leg straight ahead, or are you internally rotating or externally rotating? Try to get it pulled straight ahead. Switch your feet. You find that burn you came for. Dig into the work. Pop those hips up, but stay controlled through the core. Keep tension on that band. Switch, lift, and abduct. Same thing with that leg. Make sure the toes are flexed, pulled back. Keep your hip straight out, that leg straight out from the joint. Drive in through that hamstring and glute, pushing leg. Make sure it's not grabbing through your quad. Whew. All right, second side. I'm going to start on my second side with my crab pull this time, so if you would like to join me. Second side's usually going to be a little pre-fatigued because it's been supporting. That leg has been your support leg, so I'll switch it up. Oh, come on, keep that drive. Don't let your hips get droopy. All right. Push the hips forward. Feel the core contract. Then get that opening. If you needed to, you could keep your hips on the ground for this, but still contract and control. Flex through the core. Switch to the other side. Open up. I'm letting my hips drop back. Push the hips forward. Open up through the chest. Woo! Barely moving. Come on, build that booty. Get those super important contractions through the abductors. It's a weaker part of the leg. Need it. All right, here we go for squats. Toes straight ahead. Belly strong. Pelvis still staying neutral. So make sure it's not winking under or pushing up, scooping up too much as you drop to the bottom. Constant pressure into that band. Lock into the belly. Okay, drop and abduct. You got it. Hold on to that core. Feel the muscle you're building. Imagine the tone, the build. Recognize the work you're putting out, the effects it's going to have on you, the return. Okay, burpees. If you need to hit your knees and quads, come up from there. That's fine. Keep the core contracted. All right, down dog. Tuck that belly. We're 3/5 of the way there. Totally doable. Get through 2 more rounds. tuck that tailbone, push through that upper back, roll through, roll back. All right, flip it over, lie down on your back, push those hips up, contract through the core, through the glutes, get that push, build the butt. Come on. Make sure you're focused. Switch it up. You can always find a little more self-flex, a little more isometric contraction to build your intensity level. Take your hands up off the ground. Then you don't have the help and support of the arms. Your core has to work more. Focus the glute and hamstring pushing. Then get into that abductor pulling. Switch your legs. Get that lateral pull. This one's tougher, I think, to do without your arms on the ground. Just don't lose the height of the hips, but make sure you're not pushing too far through the low back. Control as the leg comes back. Keep those hips up. Make sure your supporting leg is straight out from your hip. It's not in toward your midline. Flex the foot. Flex the thigh. Time. Crab. Open up through that chest. Not to be quick, so push, hold just a split second, and then you can bring it back in. Grab the belly, push the hips forward, open up through the chest, find the muscles that you're wanting to build. Flip it over. Push those hips. So you're trying to open your hip flexors, grab the core, and then keep that abductor going. Come on, keep those hips up. Might want to drop back and droop. Stay with me. Time. Whee! All right, up we go. It's getting tougher to hop up. Go into your squats. Knees pull wide. Grab the belly. Find the work. Tuck and tighten through the belly. Hey, abductions. Sit low. Open the chest. Gentle little tuck of your pelvis back. Then you know that you're not relaxing through the abdomen, the core, losing the pelvis. Got to make sure we keep that pelvis in place. Make it mind. 3 seconds and we got our burpees. Time. Whew. Still pulling those knees as wide as you can. Use your triceps. Push yourself up. Time. All right, down dog, plank. Tuck, grab, contract. Find the belly. Roll it forward. Same thing back. So feel like your belly is what's grabbing, pulling you forward, contracting to hold, grabbing, pull you back. All right, friends, last round. Make it count. Make it fantastic, phenomenal, perfect. This is a bonus round. It's icing on the cake. You've already had a lot of work. So this is just pushing us one level up. Driving our return. Switch. This is going to keep us going. Add into what we've already built. Drive, push, flex. Okay, switch it up and abduct. Toes straight up, pulled back. Flex, leg. Hips held in place. You can check in with your hands. How you think about something actually makes a big difference on what you get from it. So, if you think about the return, the reward, the build, as crazy as it seems and voodoo as it seems and woo-woo, you actually get greater return. You can almost imagine and visualize the tone that you're going to have, the strength, those contractions in the abductors, that build that we got there is going to reinforce and help our low back. It's encouragement and motivation to keep it going. Every little thing you add in mentally and then tangibly, physically, goes a long way. Each thing makes a difference. 1 minute upon 1 minute adds up. Flip it over. 5 minutes upon 5 minutes. Every little choice you make. Every rep you add on. Come on. Come on. Grip in. Come up. Hit those squats. Toes straight ahead. Knees line with toes. Pull those knees wide. Push into your band. Check in. Make sure the shoulders are above your hips. Chest drops forward. Hips drop back. But the chest still stays high. Higher than hips. So we don't end up here. Belly, then butt. Come on, push those knees. Lock into the core. Open the chest, slide shoulder blades back and down. Come on, come on. Burpees are next. Here we go. Actively think about pushing those knees wide. Time. Down dog. Rolling plank. Roll, roll, roll. Belly locks. Roll into it. So feel the belly button pull up. Slide the shoulder blades down. Should be a little difficult to breathe here. Time. Because you're so contracted. Whew. Nice job. Okay, we're going to grab a quick stretch, and then we're going to call it a day. So get rid of your band. And come back down into your lunge that we started with. So hinge forward. Start with a little bounce. If you can kind of bounce sometimes, that helps the muscles relax because it confuses them a little. So they're not worried. You're going to overstretch. Okay, from here, go ahead and lift the back leg, the back knee if you haven't. Plant onto your left hand. So if the left leg's back, plant onto your left hand and then roll the hips down and around. So this will stretch those abductors and through the oblique. Roll back around. Leg comes forward, toes are up. Pull the chest towards your toes. Pull that back or the right hip back. Reach the chest, reach the chest. That was fun. Good burn. Went quick. If you're trying to add in things into your routine, which is the whole point of our routine part of this repetitions and routine, switch your legs. One way to help get that to happen is to check in and focus on what you've already made happen. So if you feel like you've already filled your imaginary punch card, if you have an imaginary punch card and at the end of all your punches, you've gotten, let's say, halfway to where you ultimately want to go with your health and fitness, lift that back knee, plant onto the hand and roll. If you can recognize how far you've already come, it's actually motivation to keep going. Sometimes it's helpful to recognize how much you've already gotten done as opposed to how far you still have to go. Switch back around. There's all sorts of funny little psychological tricks that you can use and utilize to help change behavior and build new habits. Try your best to be positive when you mess up or make a mistake. Just take it in as data. Try to backtrack and figure out what went wrong, what you need to change for next time. Mistakes are the best learning tool, so make sure that you utilize them. All right, let's go ahead and come on up. We'll just take a nice forward fold. All right, come on up from there. Good job, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you tomorrow.